Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we are back in V8 action with the Simability V8ESC Season 11, Round 10 from Mosport, also known as Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. In the booth with me tonight, having a few technical issues as we speak, is Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Hi.
And also in the booth with us tonight, on the Wheels of Steel, showing you all the magic on the screen, is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
So, whilst Pete is sorting out his latest issues, tonight we have our second, I can't even think of the word. What sort of race is it, Sam? Endurance race, that's what it is. I knew what it was. It's a 2-hour race. So we're looking at two, possibly, I've heard rumours, some people might go for 3 stops tonight. Could be an interesting race, Sam. We know these endurance races always bring out, shall we say, the tactical nuances with people trying different things.
It's sure going to be interesting, even more with the tire wear. The front tires are out of business after just a few laps. So you really have to take care of them, and it's going to be tough for these guys today to do 2 hours on these.
Yeah, I've been catching up with the Discord chat, and you're certainly right, Sam. A lot of people, or I've seen a few posts where people have put up their tyre wear after running a stint, and it's certainly. We know these tyres are not particularly wonderful anyway, but we are seeing some massive wear, aren't we?
Well, I can tell you for a fact, as I've raced 2 official this week, tire wear is an issue. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. I can tell you, Moss Corner after 20 minutes of racing, it starts to be a nightmare. So
so
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so the drivers, not only have they got to put up with the, shall we say, mental tiredness of a 2-hour race, but the tyres are also going to get tired, plus they're racing other cars on the track. But what I would say is Mosport is a nice... once you get a flow on this track, Sam, you're okay, aren't you? Until your tyres are totally dead, that is.
Yes, it's a flowing track, and you can get it right and do a no-some lap, but it's easy to get it wrong as well. I saw that and done that myself a few times. So
Yeah.
I can tell you, if you make any mistakes, the guy behind will take advantage of it, and it's done.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I say, it's not a particularly technical track, and I don't know. For me, it's because it is very sweeping and things like that. It always seems like it's a much bigger track than it actually is. It's only a touch under 2.5 miles or something, 10 turns. It's certainly not taxing, but you're right. One little mistake, we do tend to see the cars spread out a little bit in these endurance races. But if you make a mistake near the start, you're just going to get absolutely freight trained. We did actually race here in Season 10. We did a sprint and feature race here. Chris Jackson won the sprint race on the way to winning the championship, and Vincent Skilbeck won the feature race. Both drivers are on the grid tonight, as well as we've got another new driver, Sam, and that is Sean Leyland. Now, I did a quick bit of stalking before we came on air. I believe Sean is a big V8 fan. So another welcome addition to the series.
It sure is. We saw him in the 2 official European race we did this week, and he will definitely find some rivals with Ivan and some of the few people that are getting used to the car and getting better and better every race. I'm sure we'll find what he needs in this series. It's great to have new people as well.
Yeah, definitely, and also, you know, somebody that likes this sort of racing in real life. They tend to you know, give it maximum effort when they join the series. Quick shout out on the chat from our very own stripper Stacey and Martin, who for some unknown reason are in Rhodes at the moment. So yeah, you shouldn't have gone. It's been like, you know, 800 degrees in the shade in the UK for at least the last 3 weeks. So we've got better weather than you. But hopefully you'll enjoy the racing, and hopefully in Rhodes they've got better internet than where you live, so you'll actually be able to watch all of it. Let's give a shout to Pete and see, are we still having difficulties?
We are, so I'm going to just watch some stream instead.
Okay, so are you ready for a speaking part now?
Yeah, go on then.
Excellent, fire away.
Why, are you knackered, are you? Right, so let's talk about the league itself. Where is everybody at the moment? So standings. So in the Simability Cup, that man Chris Jackson is still striding healthily ahead. He's on 599 points with a dropped week. We have Kenzie Newhoff on 542 points, so about 50 odd behind, and plenty in it at the moment. He's got the opportunity to catch up. Adam Wright is 100 odd points behind Kenzie, and this is where it gets a little bit tighter. So Adam Wright, Tyler Newitt and Bob Woodhouse all around the same sort of points, and then Tony Klusterman slowly making his way back to the surface here, back to the top of the pile after a couple of rough weeks. And then Stephen Phillips is 7th in the league at the minute. He's got half the points of Chris Jackson, so he's got a bit of work to do there. And then Simon Trendle rocks up as the first of the Chimera cars. He's on 285 points. Rounding out the top 10 is firstly Vincent Skilbeck in 9th on 290 with a drop score, so he's actually in 8th with his drop score, 9th without. And Ant Woodward rounds out the top 10.
Okay, so into the Teams Championship. NQR North America currently lead the way with Jackson, Klusterman and Carr on 1,078 points. Second is BSTV Esports Green, which is Wright, Newitt and Walker on 950. And then the second NQR team, NQR Europe, Woodward, Bogatyrev and Woodhouse are third with 741.
Yes, it's getting tight at the top of some of these. So, Safe Driver Award at the minute is Ivan Batman's. I've seen him off the track a few times this evening already, so that's going to be a bit tasty. See if he can stay there. Will Blackwell Chambers is in second there. Chris Jackson's in third. Just shows his capability in this car. And then Ryan Walker is in fourth with Bob Woodhouse in fifth.
And in the Fred Bingham Forever Forward Award, which is the amount of positions drivers gain from their starting position in the race, Chris Jackson leads the way with 30 positions gained. Kenzie Newhoff in second with 28, and Dan Dracier in third with 26. I'll do the head-to-head because I know it confuses Pete. Currently, Group 1 is headed by Stephen Phillips and Jamie Wilson. Group 2, Adam Wright and Simon Trendle. Group 3 is Chris Jackson and Kenzie Newhoff. And Group 4 is Tony Kloosterman and Vincent Skilbeck. So that's everybody up to date. We are into the qualifying session. We're coming up on 9 minutes gone, and your top 3 are Adam Wright, Tyler Newitt and Tony Kloosterman. Adam and Tyler up there, Pete. Do they know something that the rest of these guys don't know, or is that a bit of a false position at the moment?
Possibly.
Well, that either means definitely yes, or Pete hasn't got a clue.
Well, they're both in the crust, making spins and crashing the cars. Another expensive thing to do for the BSTV guys, so yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. So what else have we got on the chat? Ivan, who should be driving, is asked if he can have super soft tyres. Mike Frost says the BSTV liveries are looking great. That's down to Tyler Newitt, he's our painter. Stacey says, I heard you had snow. I have no idea what she's on about. It's been shorts and t-shirt weather for ages over here. And a question for you, Pete, from Stacey. Who is in a yellowish car? Because Stacey would like to put the mockers on them.
I think this is the only yellowish car.
Can you hear me now?
There's a lot of blue, but just a few.
Yeah, me now! Is that a song?
What?
Yeah, me now!
I can hear myself, which is a terrifying thing. So I've got an echo on my line. Who's in the yellow car? I don't know.
Well, Kenzie Newhoff, Sam has got on the screen at the moment, is yellow and blue.
That's the only one I can see at the minute.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, that means Kenzie won't win. I think
Unless
that's more
all of the
green.
NQR cars have been cursed.
Yeah, it's a greeny yellow, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's definitely green.
Yeah, it's quite smart, that one.
Yeah, and for some reason, why am I showing the old paints? Even though I updated the paint pack. And that'll be why. Excellent.
Well, to be fair, Tyler sent them to you, so you have no excuses. But I just send you the copy.
Did
yeah,
he?
yeah.
Did he really? I've been away. Haven't been looking at anything. Well, I shall update my paint pack in the background so that I can see the same looking car on both my screens. So, let me just get rid of Discord for a minute. Adam Wright, Tyler Newitt, still up there, Pete.
Yeah.
They must
Adam's
have found,
been quite quick round here.
Have they found a tweak?
Possible. Although they've done some officials today, and I think Adam did rather well. I think he's worrying the likes of Tony Kloosterman and co.
Yeah, there's well, you know, endurance races, they can be fuel savers. So I've heard 2 stops, I've heard 3 stops. We know Tyler's good at saving fuel, so you know, if that comes into it, then with a decent qualifying and a perfect race strategy behind him, it could be a good evening for the BSTV guys. Although whatever they've done, they don't seem to have shared with Ryan.
Quite possible, actually. We'll have to see where he floats up. He did well last time, though, didn't he? He got a top 10.
I don't know, wasn't he?
Oh, that's right. You're busy being lazy doing something else. Let me talk through what happened last time.
I think I was actually busy being jet lagged.
Yeah, that's a bad excuse. So Chris Jackson finished top of the pile last time with Tony in second, Kenzie in third, Tyler in fourth, and Adam Wright in fifth. Ryan did finish in 10th in the first of last time's races. And then in the second, because we had a sprint feature at Bathurst, Kenzie won, which was a brilliant race. Chris Jackson was second, Tyler third, Adam Wright fourth, and Tony Klusterman in fifth. And Ryan finished eighth. So good evening for him, actually.
Yeah, very good.
Yep. Right, I need to find a way to not hear myself in Discord, so give me 5 minutes while I figure that out.
Not a problem. Checkers are out. We've still got Vincent Skilbeck on track. He does. Just trying to see what his times have been like. I don't think he's getting any purples. So this could be, I think, possibly a first proper, as in not reverse grid pole, for Mr. Adam Wright.
Adam has been fast all week.
Quick look at that.
Mosport.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Hoff there making his way around. 10th is good, isn't it?
Yeah, just
He's got some fast people behind him here.
So just on the qualifying pace, Adam Wright was a 10th and a half quicker than Tyler.
He was. Do you want me to run through this?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
So with a 1:16.151, Adam Wright is your pole man for tonight. Tyler Newitt in second, his teammate. Tony Klusterman goes off third for NQR North America. Chris Jackson off fourth, his teammate. Vincent Skilbeck off fifth in his wheelie bin. Nikolai Bogatari for NQR Europe in sixth. Seventh is Bob Woodhouse. Eighth is Simon Trendle, the first of the Chimera cars. Stephen Phillips in ninth. Hoffman in 10th. Kenzie in 11th, which is odd. 12th is Ryan Walker. 13th is Jamie Wilson. Ant Woodward is in 14th. Can't speak because I can hear myself still. 15th is Miro. Sean Leyland goes off 16th. And Ivan goes off last.
Just check your Discord settings, Pete, and make sure that your input and output is set to the correct piece of hardware.
The thing is, he hears himself from my broadcast. So
Yeah.
there's no settings he can change about muting the broadcast.
Okay, well, we are waiting for the lights to come on to get this 2-hour endurance race underway. I've got my glasses on so I can see.
Is that old age call with you?
Yes, old age and delicate from last night's Christmas party. So
yes.
Glasses are required tonight. So let's see if we can get this away clean. There's plenty of engine revving going on. And we are green, and we are away.
Front row lockout. Yes, BSTV under threat.
I was going to say it was a good start from Tony Kloosterman, but then it went a little bit pear-shaped.
I think he came out of the gas into turn 1.
Yeah, he was alongside Tyler, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, we are like 10 seconds into this race, and already my mind is working or attempting to work things out. Like, are these BSTV guys genuinely quicker than NQR? Are they going to be able to pull away? Will the tow keep the NQR guys in the game? There's just so much that can happen in the next 2 hours.
If we remember last time, there was some big crashes at Moss. And last night, Adam was battling with Tony, like, for most of the races. I understand it. Was that a touch? No, I don't know.
I think it was,
He
maybe.
didn't seem to give the chrome horn.
Yeah.
To Nikolai, that was.
Just going back to the qualifying, Kenzie Newhoff, 11th he qualified.
That's what I was saying on the grid run.
He's a title runner.
I know. What's that?
There's a
Sean has moved forward since the start.
Yeah, Simon Trendle putting a move on Andrew Hoffman, I believe.
We're up the second lap here. It's going to be pretty frantic, isn't it, with a 1 minute 16 lap time?
Yes. I don't think I've ever witnessed an endurance race around this track, but as we follow the official calendar, obviously we don't control which tracks get the endurance races, so yeah, it could be interesting. Tony's back in contention with Tyler again.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Right.
Well defended by Adam. Any further out there and he would have been paying to get back in.
Yeah, he was well off the line, wasn't he?
I see a puff of smoke, which he obviously locked his wheels, but just managed to keep hold of it. So what do you think Tony does here? Because it looks like he's quicker in
it's a bit of a wide line.
Parts. That's Jamie Wilson. Yeah, it looks like he's quicker than Tyler in some places. Or is Adam holding Tyler up? Or is it just the tow getting him back in? This is a mess.
I think Tyler dragged along by Adam. This is getting tasty here, though.
Yeah. I'm just wondering,
making his way through.
If Tony can't get past Tyler, does he swap positions with Chris Jackson and say, right, will you have a go, Chris?
I think that'll definitely happen. If one of them will get frustrated in the end.
So we were on board with Kenzie. So Kenzie has made up 2 places into 9th. Sean Leyland, our new driver in the black car there, with Jamie Wilson hot on his heels. I think Jamie had an off track, that's what's dropped him a little bit.
Yeah, Jamie had a bit of a problem around Moss last time round. This is Simon Trendle chasing Kenzie. That's a good person to chase.
Yeah,
He'll forge you a little gap all the way through the field.
that's like the second group, isn't it?
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, so this group goes all the way back to Stephen Phillips in 7th.
Well, this is right at the front here, and we're stuffing it underneath Tyler. I think Tony's made that work at the last corner.
Chris is looking for a way through as well.
Yeah, Tony kind of lifted Tyler out of the way. And if you remember the last time we were here, Tony did that move a few times, and I think one of them he came off badly.
Yeah, when you was trying to sort your... Oh, that's Jamie Wilson round again.
Jamie.
Have to have a look and see what happened there. I'm guessing it's all on his own. Yeah. Yeah, car just seemed to shoot left then.
Yeah.
Once he was on the grass, it was gone. Tyler's back in front of Tony again.
When did... That must have happened into Moss. And Tony's dropped right back. Has he had a slowdown or something?
Yeah, he's now behind Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, I wonder if Sam can get us a look at that and we can try and work out what happened. So, here we are.
Tony has gone on the dirt.
Yeah, on the dirt, half
Ooh,
a spin.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that gifted
That wasn't
back
into
to
Moss, that was
Tyler.
in Moss.
Yeah. On Moss. But Tony is showing speed. My only caveat to that is, I know, as Sam rightly said, I think everybody is suffering with front tyre wear. And Tony's not the, shall we say, the gentlest of the best tyre preserver in the business, is he?
No, he says he can't save fuel.
Yeah.
He's got too heavy a right foot, and I think with that comes the tyre wear.
And the more you push to try and make a move on somebody, the quicker those tyres are going to wear out.
Yeah.
What's happened to Stephen Phillips? He was right on the back of this little group. Is he still on the back of it? No, actually, yeah, I think he is. It's all right.
He
Might
is,
just be
yeah.
me.
He was making his way through on Nikolai earlier.
Yeah. So we've still got 7 in the lead group, and what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the second group.
Yeah, I think these groups are going to stick together for if not all the race, then most of it.
Yeah, this
I'm
front
trying to
group
find my
it's broken away, hasn't it, by 2.5 seconds ish.
Yep. Bob Woodhouse leads the second charge, doesn't he? And then Kenzie, Simon, Ryan, and then a bit of a gap to the Hoff, who's got Ant Woodward crawling all over him at the moment.
And I've just had a look at my track map and realised that there aren't many corners here that have got names.
No, there's not, no.
But it has flashed up in my head. Now, I know we're in Canada, and I know this is an American thing, but what the hell is a straightaway?
It's just a straight.
Yeah, well, we don't have turnaways, do we? Or corneraways. So why isn't it just a straight?
Are you talking about, is it Mario Andretti?
Straight away.
Yeah.
The only time you ever use straight away is, would you like an ice cream?
Quick.
Would you like a piece of cake? Straight away. Then it's a real word. It's not a real word on a racetrack. Unless we're going to start using, oh, he's in turn away 1, going into turn away 2. So,
and do we need a carousel away?
Exactly. See, it doesn't end, does it? So we've got a couple of Canadians in the field. We sometimes get some Canadians and Americans on the chat. Give us the answer. Why is it not straights and turns? Why is it turns and straightaways? Why is it not turnaways and straightaways?
Yeah, so Daisy, you need to get your mate into this league.
That's tonight's rant out of the way, by the way. So, I don't think that these guys can lose each other because of the... I would guess it's quite a vast tow round here tonight, Pete, because of the nature of the track.
Yeah.
And it's keeping all of these guys in contention. So yeah, it's going to turn tactical one way or another, isn't it? Either fuel saving, pit strategies. We've seen some, should we say, calamitous pit stops recently. The funniest one I've seen recently was it Stephen Phillips at Bathurst? Crashed into the pit entrance wall and bounced into the pit lane. That was quite good.
It was hilarious, yeah. I mean, there was no better place to crash his car, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, he did it in the perfect place, didn't he? But yeah, so obviously there's
just
been
going back
other...
to what you were saying on here about the tow. Getting out of Moss Corner is the most critical thing you can do on this track. So you can afford to lose time through the last corner, the first corner, but you have to get it right coming out of Moss.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly
It
right.
just drags you up that hill.
Just going back to obviously calamitous pit stops. Shout out to Bill if he's watching. That's where this is the track that Bill got his barbecue moniker.
America.
Stacey says, please shout out to Rajiv to join TCR on Wednesdays. There you go. Shout out done. Money inbound. So, what have we got? We haven't got massive movers, have we? Up 2 places, biggest movers. Stephen Phillips, Kenzie Newhoff. Where's Kenzie in relationship to Bob Woodhouse now? Not too far, but Bob seems to be holding his own.
Yeah, I mean, it bodes well for...
Look, sorry, Tony was getting a little bit feisty on his teammate then.
I mean, this is a full-on 6-car train again. 7-car.
7, yeah. Yeah, 2 Canadians in this group racing in Canada. Stacey says that she's on something. I don't know what that is. I can guess. Now, this group, Pete. Obviously, we've seen Tony be a bit fighty so far. Wouldn't really expect Nikolai to be doing anything daft on his team boss.
No.
Vincent and Stephen, what do you think? First stint, maybe they're just going to be happy being in this top group, saving a bit of fuel when they can, and trying to turn that into an advantage later on in the evening?
It'd be a good tactic, wouldn't it? You just need to tail, save fuel, stick with it, see if you can get an advantage in the pit stops. I mean, what are they going to do? 3 stops? Is that right? It's fairly high fuel usage, you know.
I have got some inside information. Let me have a look. So
Stacey's just posted this track on VR and a emoji of the It really would be the elevation change into Moss is just it's quite significant actually. You can in certain cars you can let the elevation change slow it down enough to turn it.
Yeah, so this is my inside information says it's going to run 91 or 92 laps.
Okay.
So 3 stints, which would mean 2 stops. You can do 34 laps on a full tank, but your tyres are knackered after 31. So,
Right.
It could be that 3 stops are quicker than 2
Yeah.
because of the tyres.
Yeah. Tyres are falling off that fast then, yeah. That what you just said reminded me of James May when he was at Brooklands in the Veyron.
Yeah.
At this speed, the tyres will disintegrate or something in 45 seconds, but I'll run out of fuel in 30 or something.
So I suppose we'll know if anybody's going to try a 3-stop strategy, because they'll probably be coming in, what lap? My maths is crap. 23, 24, something like that. Maybe even lap 22.
If they're going to stay on optimal tyres and there's no risk to the end of the race, then yeah.
I think it's quite a long pit lane, isn't it? It's straight, but it does take a while to traverse it. So does that play into it? I don't know.
If we stay on board here with Tyler, so you're joining pit road just at the end of this wall on the right. There we go. It turns in there.
Yeah.
You're on the gas up to the building, and then I suppose it is a long pit lane, isn't it?
You're not coming out until here. You can't accelerate till there.
Yeah, that's a lot of pit road. I didn't realise, to be honest. I've driven this track well, I've crashed on it in loads. This turn here, the second sweeping left-hander, usually a pile of cars in the wall there on the grass with the bottom of it.
I think Bob Woodhouse is more than holding his own there. Did that early charge from Kenzie take a bit too much of his tyre life away? Because I think he's now coming under pressure from Simon, isn't he?
Well, Bob's definitely pulled away. He was the lead car of this second group.
Yeah.
Now he's on his own.
Tony pushing Chris round the corner. Still
If you're watching,
getting away.
Yeah, there's not a lot of braking going on.
No,
So these guys are off the gas, coasting into corners. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Shame I can still hear myself. I'm still trying to sort this out.
What's going on up the front? Has there been a switcheroo for fuel saving? I think there has.
No, Tyler's out front now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. A while to figure it out.
Well, that tells me that the BSTV guys up the front are two-stopping.
Oh, yeah, because they're all sharing out the mileage.
Yeah, that's
mileage.
about halfway through the first stint of a two-stopper that they've switched to save fuel. Evening to Johnny Brandon on the chat.
It's either for saving fuel or Tyler is a bit better on the
And why
tires.
is he not racing in a V8?
Because he's a
That's
girl.
a question.
And I bought a Go Brandon flag specially when I was in America.
Were they going cheap on Camden Market or something?
No, I'll try and cut a long story short, which obviously any of our American viewers will probably know this story anyway. So there was a young guy doing, I don't know what he was racing, but something way down the NASCAR pecking order, like late models or something like that. And a young girl had to interview him after his race because he won. So literally what happened was, as she started to interview him, the crowd in the grandstand, or whatever you want to call it, were shouting, and we're not past the watershed, so I'll have to spell it, F-U-C-K Joe Biden, and it was quite loud. And the girl that was interviewing this Brandon guy got very flustered about it and said, you know, even the crowd are shouting your name. They're all saying "Go Brandon." And since that, everywhere you go over there now, there's "Go Brandon" flags and all sorts, which actually means F-U-C-K Joe Biden.
Never done before.
It's obviously an American thing.
Yeah.
What brought it to my attention was we went to Daytona on the Saturday to watch the Xfinity race, as we see Ivan Batman's coming out of the pits, and they have the planes flying around trailing the banners.
Yes.
You know, like Jesus is on his way and what's for dinner, mum, and that sort of thing. And there was a Go Brandon. So I took a picture of it for the next time Johnny Brandon races. I was going to put it up. And then I'm like, I wonder who this Brandon guy is. And then the crowd were chanting it and stuff like that. So I Googled it, and that's where I found out the real story behind it.
Right, okay.
Anyway, back to the race.
Yeah, we seem to have fragmented a bit at the front.
No, not the front group.
It looks a bit thin.
No, there's a little gap, isn't there? But nothing major.
Yeah, it was
Bob's
just
still
behind
pulling
Vincent,
away.
I think. Ooh, Stephen's having a look.
Yeah, maybe Nikolai's suffering with his tyres, because Vincent's pulling away from him. In fact, Vincent's got in front of him, hasn't he?
Yes. And it looks like he's going quite a bit there. He can pull that back, though. I think Stephen's definitely wanting through, though.
Yeah.
You can see the rest of them starting to bleed away.
I think Nikolai's pace has dropped probably through tyre wear. What are we on, lap 20? So if he's two-stopping, he's still got quite a way to go. Oh, well held. I think one of the dogs dug their feet in then.
Yeah. I don't know whether we're going to see some bump drafting.
Well, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Oh, look at the toe there. Oh, that was Chris Jackson closing in rapid.
Yeah, they may have a little bit of an advantage because if they do see somebody coming too quickly, I suppose they could go double wide, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Be a bit of a rolling roadblock. Tony Kloosterman has bitted.
Oh.
So to me,
weren't you saying this was a bit early?
Well, I think so, but that's a definite three-stopper.
Yeah.
Tony's trying the three-stop option, so that will be interesting at the end to see how that works out. And Sam, Stacey's asking how are the storms now? Is everything okay?
Just answering on the chat.
There you go.
Be through. Yeah, it was just 1 day of storms on Tuesday. Then my internet played games with me, and no, it's fine.
So this is Nikolai. He's getting a lot of understeer now, and he's
been there, done that.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
Maybe he should follow the team boss and switch to a three-stop strategy.
Interesting though that Chris Jackson's laid out. Doesn't see the need to do that.
Yeah, I do genuinely think that Chris is. I think Chris changed his driving style. Changed his driving style and changed his, shall we say, driving mentality. Because, you know, we used to take great glee in calling him Crash Jackson. And, you know, I've been. It's taken me forever, but I'm slowly building up all the stats for the past 10 seasons, and you see Chris Jackson getting 15, 20, 25, 30 incident points per race, and now he doesn't. And I think part of that is he's now easier on the car, so he can do a bit of fuel saving, he can do some tyre saving. And I think that's all played into his hands.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any other drivers that have got such a meteoric change to their V8 ability. I mean, he's literally gone from piloting into the wall on a regular basis to virtually winning every race.
Yeah, you know, and Chris will agree with this. You know, he's a lovely guy. If there was an accident on track, you could almost put your house on it that Chris would be involved in it. He would go for moves that weren't on and things like that. But night and day now, isn't it?
And his approach to races is very professional. And when you watch his driving, I know that setup is undrivable because they've said that, haven't they?
Yes.
But he controls it so well. It seems really grounded underneath him.
He loves a loose car. Obviously, he's benefited from a lot of one-on-one personal coaching from his son Logan.
Well, yeah.
And obviously we found out last season's controversy when Chris wasn't actually driving. It was his wife Mary that was driving the car. Hence the championship. But we're assured he's in the car this season, and he's not doing too bad, is he?
No, he's definitely up at the pointy end for, well, every race so far, really, isn't it? Tony, however, has had a bit of trouble through his races.
Yeah, and Woodward's in as well.
Oh, right,
So
okay. That's the first of the Europe cars in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another one on a 3-stopper, I think.
Yeah, we're only on lap 24. I take it you've got to milk the 31 laps if you're going to do a
You've got to, haven't you? You've got to do, well, I would guess a minimum of maybe 30. I think you can, you could still do a 2-stopper from here, but you're going to be doing 34 laps for 2 stints on wrecked front tyres, and that just isn't going to work.
No, and one of you is going to have to remind me, because it's been this long since I've driven this car. Is it fuel and tyres or fuel then tyres?
No, both at the same time.
It's one tyre, then fuel, then another tyre, then the bumper, then another tyre, and probably the wing, and then probably the oil as well, and then another tyres, and I don't know if I've done the 4, but there you go.
So what I was thinking was, oh, hang on, there goes the Hoff into pit road. No, it was the Hoff behind him.
Yeah, and Vincent, I was bringing on camera, sorry, yeah, you're right.
Cool. So, if you put the car in on lap 21, is the fuel going to cover the tyres?
Surely, because it does after 11 laps.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Another question for Stacey, which you don't really know, you can't really answer without more information. Anyone wanting to start out sim racing, please shout out on which league is a good starting point and how to join. Again, I think to me it really depends on what sort of racing you want to do. Are you into this sort of racing? Are you into TCR racing? Do you like open wheel racing? Do you like the GT aspect of racing? There's all sorts, isn't there? If you want to jump in with both feet and try the hardest thing you'll ever try, then most definitely this league.
A lot of people get put off straight away, though, don't they? Because it is hard to handle.
Yeah.
And to be consistent is just years of invested time.
Yeah, you've got to have some, should we say, base skill in sim racing to jump into something like this. Although, as with all our leagues, it's a very, very friendly community, and all of the people that you see on the track now and those that are not racing and can't be with us tonight, they will all help anybody as much as they possibly can. I've seen the guys sharing tyre wear and strategies and telemetries and taking people out on track and giving them one-to-one lessons and that sort of thing. So there's plenty of help out there. League racing as opposed to official racing. League racing, you get to know who you're battling. You get to know the drivers. You get to know, who you can push around, who you can't take liberties with. Official racing is good because yes, you do get a lot of idiots and you will die a lot. But the race, depending on the series, the races could be every half an hour or every 2 hours, rather than once a week or once a fortnight in a league. So it's all got its different pros and cons, isn't it? I think everybody starts out in a slower car. It used to be like MX-5 or Skip Barber or something like that. But there's plenty of decent slower cars out there now. Towards the end of this month, we've got our F4 league starting. And the guys that I'm talking to at the moment that have already joined the league, they're just saying that car is absolutely brilliant. Such a fun car to drive. So yeah, there's so much out there. It really just depends on what you're into.
Yeah, and you were saying about MX-5s. Ooh, Let's not
Oh!
talk for a minute.
That's Ant Woodward, and that is Andrew Hoffman.
It is.
Didn't quite see.
So turn 2. And the Hoff seems to... Oh, no.
Oh, and Ant was on the grass.
Oh, there's a bit of everything in that.
Yeah. I think Ant touched the grass, and that's what threw his car out.
But I think there was some solid air as well.
And just to quickly answer Stacey, yes, it's Kenzie Newhoff.
So you were saying about MX-5s, and you do generally learn in the slower cars, but those races are brutal.
Yes.
So much bumping and banging. Woo.
That's Kenzie.
Off-roading.
Struggling.
Yep.
He's lost that place, hasn't he, to Brian Stalker.
And yeah, he's doing well at the minute. I know there's pitted cars behind him, but...
Right, Kenzie's got that place back. Let's sweep round the outside. And with that, Brian Stalker enters the pit lane. So that's going to be a 2-stopper, I think.
Yeah, so.
I think everybody that's going to pit in the next 5 laps are going for 2 stops at the moment. And these two up front must be quite happy, Pete. They've controlled the first 37 minutes at least.
Interesting to see whether they've managed to do fuel saving enough. Both of them have led for a little while, and Chris has just stayed there, as has that's Simon. Is that Simon Trendle behind? No, it's not, is it? I think that's a lapped Jamie Wilson.
That's Jamie Wilson, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, Jamie did pit early, didn't he, after his damage?
Well, they kind of had to, didn't he? This is Simon Trendle here with Kenzie in close with, well, trying to overtake Kenzie, that is. See, last turn for most people, not an overtaking place, but Tony seems to be able to make it work. And that's generally what happens when people try to overtake there. They get a bag full of wheel spin and get no traction leaving the corner. Tony seems to make it work on new tyres. And we saw him do it a lot last time. Like I said, he came unstuck on one of them. I think he speared back across the track, or somebody speared into him when he moved them offline, which is what you've got to do on corners, isn't it? Yeah, you can't just be there like tippy-toeing around people. You've got to make yourself known to them.
Ooh, that's Trendle.
That's not too bad.
Tyres are definitely going, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Johnny was saying on the chat there, 40 minutes would be a pit stop for a 2-stopper. Yes, I know that's working it out mathematically through time, but what I think is going to happen is the people that have been fuel saving, like we've seen these two at the front, are basically going to run as long as they possibly can on this first stint, especially whilst they're in control of the race, to try and shorten up the other stints and get a bit more tyre life in the other stints.
Yeah, makes sense. In theory, these 4 cars, 3 cars here, should be in this lap. This is we're on lap 31 now, unless they've managed to do any fuel saving and scratch out another lap. It was 31, you said, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but we're not. Well, yeah, this is the 40th minute, so
yeah.
I fully expect that these front guys are going to keep going.
Okay, let's see what happens. I mean, you don't want to be pitting on your own if you're in a group like this, do you? You want to maintain that tow. road
The front
position.
two are definitely going to come in together, aren't they?
Yeah,
Without a doubt. To me, it's what does Chris Jackson do, and that's just answered my question.
Yeah, he's peeled off.
He's coming in for the bog standard two-stopper, sorry.
So he must have been a lot heavier on the gas pedal than the other two.
Or just not yeah. These two have just... I know Tony tried to get in them, but apart from the first couple of 3 laps until Tony made that mistake, these two have just been in control and been able to do whatever they want to do, swapping the lead so that Adam can save some fuel. I can pretty much guarantee that every lap they're talking to each other. How much fuel have you got? How much have you got? And they're gonna come in together.
Yeah, Miro doing his best to keep out of the way there. He had to take the corner at some point, otherwise he'd have had to come to a full stop, but that's delayed Adam fair amount actually. He's half a second he's delayed there. As we watch Bob Woodhouse with Chris Jackson right in front of him. So Bob Woodhouse has done the Nemela effect, I think, and hauled himself onto the back of what was the 3rd place guy, because Bob was in the lead of the second group, if you remember right.
Yeah, but pulling away.
Yeah.
And just to answer Johnny, you said shorter stop for Chris, adding less fuel if he saved. He was one of the longer stops.
Yeah, I think he's just got through his fuel quite heavily. These guys have gone round again, Clyde.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. They're gonna, every lap that they're still able to do on these knackered tyres, although it might cost them the lead in the next stint, it's all going to get paid back to them later on.
Yeah, who's that? Adam was deep into Moss there, and it's telling because you can see the Chimera car of Jamie Wilson catching Adam. I mean, now I know he's in his toe, but
yeah.
They're not putting in super fast laps as you'd expect because their tyres are probably bald by now, and red hot and not worth anything. But let's see how many laps they can get out of these.
They're in.
And formation style they are in, and yeah, as you're saying, if these guys come out behind people, that's almost expected, isn't? Who's this coming in now?
That's Nikolai, I believe.
Right. So has Nikolai managed to eke that out as well? And Simon's gone round again. So these guys, obviously with their solar-powered vehicles, and Simon Trendle takes the lead. This is Tony, who was very early to stop. Stopped on lap 21, so 13 laps ago. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. I'm not saying this will be where Tony and probably Vincent and Chris, maybe even Bob Woodhouse will be in front of the 2 BSTV drivers, but they've now got fuel in the bank.
Yes.
I don't think this will faze them at all, apart from Stephen Phillips getting in the middle of them.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the plan.
No, and it'll be fascinating by the time we get to the end of here, because Nikolai's come out in 10th place, but he will end up leapfrogging at everybody else's second stop. So it's looking quite positive here, and it's looking even more positive in theory for Simon Trendle, who has obviously got a second fuel tank on board.
He's in now.
Ah, right. Couldn't make it go any further.
So he's going to drop back down the order. Tony Kloosterman will inherit the lead.
Yeah, and Simon will be stopped for quite a long time, I would think, if he's run that down to vapours. Here we go. A move coming from Nikolai on Brian Stalker. Brian's gone deep into that corner, but he should have the optimal line here. Nope, he's not been able to keep it. Simon's going to be out behind these guys. Still stopped. Kenzie's through on him now as well. Sean has now stopped. So Sean Leyland has now pitted it for the first time. It is Sean, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Right, okay, just making sure.
We could call him British.
British Leyland.
I was going to say, I don't think this will be too much of a struggle for Tyler.
No, the tyres must feel brilliant right now.
Yeah. So it's 6 lap newer tyres. Adam Wright needs to get his finger out.
Looking for him, yes.
He needs to get past these two, or at least stay with Stephen and hope Stephen stays with Tyler.
A bit close that. Bob Woodhouse getting a bit out of shape there, and Adams stayed with Stephen.
Yeah, well, Bob pitted on lap 27, didn't he? So he's got 8 or 9 laps on these tyres already. And some of these drivers, they're turning the tyres to monkey dust after about 20 laps. So
what the hell is monkey dust? I totally just made that up.
I did.
I mean, we've come up with some strange terminologies on BSTV, but that's got to be one of the most extreme ones. That's well out there.
To give you an idea on the tires deck, last lap of Tony was a 1:18.05. Tyler was a 1:17.3. So that's almost 8 tenths faster.
And
Yeah,
before
that's massive.
the last lap before they pitted, Tony was a second quicker than Tyler.
You know, just an entire second around here. That's immense, isn't it?
But that's where I think these BSTV boys are going to benefit. Because the next stop, I don't expect it to be as long. If they do the same again,
Yeah.
you know, I think they'll be quitting.
Yeah. Well, just look at watching the relative times. They're eating into Tony's lead quite well. Tyler is anyway. They both must be, but I'm watching Tyler's time. They're eating into his lead quite quickly. I'll be back in a second. I've got to go and make some monkey dust.
I thought you said I've got a gun. No cake yet, Stacey. I'm told it's on the way. I don't know where from. But yeah, Sam, I think what we're seeing at the moment is a little bit of a falsehood, isn't it? Because a lot of these drivers are on different strategies, and they're, you know, I expect the BSTV guys to be strong at the end of the race, whereas some of the cars in front of them are going to struggle. There's a lot more going on in this race than you actually see on the screen.
There's a lot into it, and right now they need to gain at least 3 seconds in the pits on Chris Jackson. And if they do the same and go longer again, they will need 6 seconds, at least for Tyler. I'm not counting Adam because he's fallen a bit behind. But 6 seconds into the pits, that's a long stretch. They've done 2 seconds longer pit stop on the first one. So I think it will equalize, but they won't gain 6 seconds. So I think
Oh, do you
it's
know
gonna be
what?
tight.
I'm not sure. I think new versus old tyres. You know, if it's a second a lap, it's only 6 laps, and they're only quick laps.
Yes, but as I see it right now, Tyler is not gaining tons on Chris. Because you only have 2 laps
Yeah.
fresher tires, it's not much. And to make
The
4
lap-
laps...
Yeah, the
it's not
previous
much.
lap. I know he didn't make much on this lap, but he did make half a second on the previous lap. And I suppose if the goal is, isn't it, to get into the toe. As soon as you're in the toe, you're going to reel it in really quickly.
Sure.
I think Adam
past Steven, yes. We'll
Adam's
see
got
how it
past
goes on.
Stephen, but I think Adam will be doubting the team tactics at the moment.
Well, he lost a bit of time in these 2 laps. He made more. You know, the 2 more laps he did. He lost a bit of time on Tyler, and then he came back behind, and Steven and Bob were there as well, which Tyler had no issue to pass, and then there's a bit of a roadblock. So that makes things a bit more complicated for Adam right now with this strategy. It's gonna be tough. He was leading the race and he was full in contention, but I think now he's maybe a bit out of the race.
I wouldn't quite write him off yet.
Well, for the win, if it stays like that and nobody makes mistakes, it's more, I would say, not in his hands.
Well, we'll find out in about an hour.
Yeah. It's in Tony back in. So if he went in on lap 21 the first time, where's he going to pop into the pits this time?
Well, he pitted on 20, didn't he? So.
Okay. Given that we're doing 90 odd laps, that seems extremely early.
They can do 34 laps, can't they? So if he did a 34 lap stint this time, that would take him to 54. And then that would take him to 88. So I think Tony's on a 3-stopper.
Right.
I think he's gone totally different to everybody else.
And there's nothing wrong with that, is there? It's just it's a bit of an unknown in terms of where you're going to end up with everybody else's tyre wear.
I think the rest of the top 10 are still on a 2-stopper.
Vincent pit last. What was his pit lap? I don't have SDK at the minute.
Vincent pitted on 24.
Right, so only 4 laps after Tony.
So he could, in theory, go to 92, which is about where the race is going to get to.
Yes.
Johnny's asking for Tyler's pit stop time. A 1 minute, 1.63 seconds. Whereas Chris was 58.88.
Quite a difference, isn't it? Imagine what 3 seconds is on the track. It's a lot. It's a lot of tarmac.
Well, Chris, as Johnny said before, Chris would have had to put less fuel in to fill the tank up because he didn't run it dry.
Yep.
But I'm just wondering if that worked out at the end that Tyler and Adam have got, I don't know, 4 lap, 5 lap, 6 lap newer tyres than Chris. I think that's doable. I think that's what they're planning on.
Sam's just put the pit times on the screen there, so at least I think that's what it is. So Nikolai did the same pit time pretty much as Tyler and Adam. It's almost identical actually. And so you can see where the blocks of people pitting are. Tony, very short stop really, isn't it, in comparison, as you'd expect, of course. What's that with? Sorry,
I think the trouble with Tony now is he's got to do a 3-stopper.
Yeah, he's totally committed to it now, hasn't he? He's played his hand, really. And in some respects, has Vincent done that? Because in order to make... He's right on the edge of the strategy, isn't he? So he's got nothing to play with.
Yeah, there's no wiggle room in it at all, is there?
There's a risk to it, for sure. He must be confident that this will work. Whereas the others have given themselves time to switch to a different strategy, possibly.
Yeah, and it's so hard to call. But that's why I love these races, because it you know, if you looked at the leaderboard 20 minutes ago, as we see Miro having some trouble.
That's my corner, Miro.
you would say, do you know what, BSTV guys are just running away with this, they're doing everything right. You look at it now and you sort of, can't they? But then in another half an hour's time it could be something totally different again.
Yeah. Crispy Bacon says Tony's slowly opening the gap. He's opening the gap to the car behind, but Tyler's taken about 4 seconds out of him since Tyler was in the pits. So that number is coming down.
Yeah, Tyler just about in the toe now. He is well within the toe, so and he's got 9-lap newer tyres than Vincent. Now, with these tyres, here's the question. Tyler's 9-lap newer tyres than Vincent are obviously going to be better, but how much do they equalise and how quickly do they equalise?
Yeah,
so,
and will he scrub them to death just trying to get through? Is he going to bother trying to get through?
I think he's got to.
Because they're on such similar strategies, yeah.
Tony's in again for his second stop.
So this is lap 44. So, yeah, he's not added too much on, has he? So you're right, that's a definite 3-stopper. He can't do anything else now but that.
But we've got 2 minutes to go till the halfway point.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right here. Tyler has got to do Vincent quickly.
Yeah.
To make use of the tyres that he's struggled fought so hard to eke out in the first stint. If he can't make a pass on Vincent very quickly, like up the next Mario Andretti straight away, just thought I'd get that one in there for you, Clyde.
I think it's okay for now, because Chris is not getting away from these two. So Tyler is not in a hurry to pass Vincent. He needs to do it, but Chris is not getting away. And he definitely got less fuel to put in at the end as he's done less laps. So it's gonna be tight between Chris and Tyler at the end. But Tyler needs to make a move soon.
Yeah.
But it's not desperate.
No, you're right. He could let Vincent's tyres go off a little bit more. But it looks like he's going with my recommendations. Now he needs to see if he can... I mean, he can afford to sit behind Chris, can't he?
Yes.
Well, he has to.
Yeah.
He has to.
He's got to keep the fuel going, yeah.
Exactly. If he passes Chris, he makes some mistakes, because Chris will save fuel and do a shorter pit stop. So he needs to stay behind.
And does this mean that Adam's screwed at the minute? Because he's got open track in front of him. He's not going to be capable of fuel saving like everybody else unless he's got Michael Taliancic's V8 underneath him.
And he's losing time as well, battling with Phillips.
Yeah. So our pole man is looking second or third best at the minute, isn't he?
I don't think he's out of it. I really don't. possibly agree with Sam, but because of the way the cards have fell in Tyler's favour, I think Adam might be out of it for the win. But I don't think he's out of it
about
to
win, yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's out of it to bring home a BSTV 1-2.
Yeah. That's why I was saying second or third best. I can't really figure out where Chris Jackson's going to end up at the end of it all. My brain isn't that capable.
No, Johnny on the chat is saying surely Chris is just saving massively at the moment. Yeah, I agree. I think he is. But on the basis that we don't think Tyler is going to go past Chris, because Tyler will use Chris to save fuel, if Chris is slowing, making Tyler slow, that could bring Adam back into it. It could be a straight fight at the end between Adam and Chris for second place.
Yeah, look at this. Stevens onto Adam's rear bumper now.
And all that aside, we're only halfway through. There's still plenty of mistakes that can happen.
Yeah. Moscorner's got to claim some more, hasn't it? It wouldn't be the same otherwise, actually.
British Leyland has just had his first biggie in V8s by the looks of it. He's out on the grass. That's going to spit him in. Oh, he did well there.
Yeah, good catch.
Yeah, I fully expected him to bury himself on that inside wall then.
I've done that before, caught it, and then ended off at the next corner. I think they were going to charge me council tax because I'd been off at that corner so many times at one point.
Just to put Study back a bit into the mix, he's 28 seconds behind.
Yes.
Just having a look, he did a 50-second pit lane, and it's only 10 seconds or, well, less time in the pit lane than the guys going full out till the end of the fuel.
Yeah, they did 61-second stops, didn't they?
Yeah, I think the 3-stopper might not be the strategy there, because he's way back. I know he's gonna run faster right now, but last lap was a 1:17.79 compared to the 1:18.0, 1:18.1 for the other guy. Adam did it 1:17.9, so it's only 1/10 slower than Tony.
Certainly going to be pretty close. Adam's not able to get away from Stephen here, which is surprising. Not because Stephen's not any good, just because of the tyre strategy, just because he was the pole man, so he's obviously got a lot of speed around this track.
Well, tires for Stephen are only 2 laps older, so it's not much of a difference right now into the stint. So, and difference in the tires, Tony pitted on lap 44 and Tyler and Adam on lap 33, so that's 11 laps fresh tires for Tony.
Yeah, and we're obviously over the halfway mark now. And I can only believe that Stevens staying there on purpose. He got that close. I think he's on a fuel save mission. He certainly didn't want to overtake there, did he? He stayed in Adam's tow. Definitely saving masses of fuel. Tyler's caught Chris Jackson pretty much. Half a second off him at the minute. Chris is evidently just fuel saving all the nuts and bolts off that car.
Another thing to take into account is Tony is getting traffic, where the front runners that makes longer runs are not.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and getting through tyres quicker as a result, no doubt. It's not just the time delay. Ooh, what was that in the background there?
That
I
was a
think
Mr. Hoffman.
It was, and there was no front on that wagon there. So I think he's lost it on the... Ooh, and that looked a bit slow coming round from... is that Nikolai? Oh, it's Bob Woodhouse. So Moss Corner has claimed some embarrassment. Oh, was he going to... Oh, he's managed to get away with that one. He didn't hit anything.
Very lucky.
Very.
Found some grip on the grass.
Yeah. I've never found anything out there other than wall.
So what do we think Tyler will do here then? Are we expecting to see him run it dry and just put enough fuel in to get him to the end of the race, or do you think he will short stop this one, as in come in earlier and fill the tank right up from a higher level to start with to make it a short stop?
I think he's going to be looking at the lap times that Chris is putting in, because sitting in behind and fuel saving is one thing. Doing that on very slow laps is going to ruin his strategy potentially.
Yeah.
So he's going to be keeping one eye on the clock, keeping one eye on his fuel gauge, and as at the point at which he is safe to cover that final stint, then you've got your decision, don't you? Am I short stopping, or am I going to run it out and give myself some guaranteed time in the pits to get my advantage? But we've seen what this car does. It's better on an undercut. If he's doing 2 stops, his next one's his last one. So really, he should be coming in as soon as his fuel allows him to.
Or would you just come in as soon as Chris comes in, knowing that you're going to be putting less fuel in? And therefore you're going to beat him in the pit stop.
Yeah, pass him in pit road, yeah.
Yeah.
Pass him when he's stopped.
And take all the guesswork out of it.
Yeah. It could be a safe strategy, that. Then you're not having to tussle, are you? You're out on the road. The only problem with that strategy is Chris Jackson learns as he gets round a track, doesn't he? We've seen it before. And if he suddenly got himself a little bit of education, it might end up with him being able to bridge the gap to you and overtake you, because he's annoying like that.
Yeah, I just, from Chris's perspective, every lap that they do here, like this, in this formation, is benefiting Tyler.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because Tyler will be saving more fuel than Chris. And therefore Tyler's stop is going to be shorter than Chris's.
Yeah, will it give him enough time get away and break a potential toe that could be there once they're both back out of the pits again? Because it looks to me like Chris has just found the loud pedal again.
Well, yeah. See, I think if I was in Chris's shoes, I would possibly now pit at the earliest possible time and basically say to Tyler, right, well, you got no one in front of your fuel saving, so let's make it a race to the end now, and let's see who the best man is on shit tyres.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in this group behind, Vincent Skilbeck has been caught by Adam and Stephen. So there's now a queue here. Remind me again when Vincent last pitted?
So Vincent was on lap 24, so he's coming up to 30 lap old tyres.
Yeah, so he's not going to want to be on the outside of these two on one of these laps, because he's going to want to get into pit road at some point. Not this lap though, he's going again. Adam's made that work. Stephen's itching to get past now.
And I'm going to totally disagree with Johnny Brandon. I think Tyler needs less fuel than Chris. he pitted 2 laps later, and B, I think he's just saving like mad behind Chris at the moment.
It was a lovely attempt at an overtake there at turn 3 from Stephen. He didn't quite make it work, but they must have got super close. He's got this into Moss. Vincent puts up a bit of a scrap. A bit of wheel spin from Stephen. Probably drops him away from the toe from Adam.
Tony going past Brian Stalker.
Oh, here we go, Vincent. Repaying this favour here. He's going to want to get to pit road, though, surely, at some point very soon.
He's going to be very,
he's super
very
wide. You do realise if Johnny Brandon's right about that strategy, you're not going to live that down forever.
Oh, you know what he's like. He'll just go on about it for months. I think Johnny firmly believes that this race is all Chris.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm too stupid to figure it out myself, but never mind. But it looks to me like Chris has put his foot down now, and he's trying to break some sort of toe or get some sort of gap ready for pit stops, is what I'm choosing to believe right now. I think, have they got about another 10 laps or so before they need to box the car in?
Chris came in on 31, so in theory, yes, he could go to 65.
Yeah. We have Mr. Skillback.
Yeah, I don't know what the strategy is for Vincent, because he's close to the 2-stopper, but I'm not sure he'll make it to the end, so that might be a 3-stopper.
Yeah, I think I have to concur with that, Sam. That puts him out of that window, doesn't it?
He would have to save like mad on this thing to make it to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened is he saw Tony coming in, make a 3-stopper, and then figured out 3-stopper is not going to work for him. So decided to try to switch to a 2-stopper.
Now he's stuck between two decisions, isn't he?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough night for him. Well, a tough morning, because it's the morning for them down under, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Staying about a second behind Chris at the moment. Seems to be the pattern he's holding to at the moment. And that's happening in the background there. I'm trying to see if that gap is dropping, and I can't remember what I read the last time they went round. Seems to be growing at the beginning of the lap and then coming down again once they're up to Moss Corner. So
there's not a great deal in the lap times, is there?
No. And we know that Adam's quick because he was the pole man. He was duking it out with Tony in the officials. So he's got a lot of speed in that car. Stephen Phillips looks healthy here for a decent finish, doesn't he? This could be very good for him. And there's the lap times on the screen. In fact, Adam was the slower car by a small margin, about a tenth and a half. And yeah, Johnny's pointing out Nikolai having a great race. He really is as well. He's running the same strategy as Tyler and Adam I don't know that there's anybody else for him to leapfrog, unless Bob Woodhouse is on a 3-stopper, and I can't remember his strategy either now. And without SDK, it makes it more of a challenge.
Bob pitted on lap 27, so he'll be on a 2-stopper. And I just seem to have lost everything.
Rust tonight, isn't it? I can't get on SDK at all. You've lost everything.
All I can see is a timing tower.
Excellent. Well, there's a race going on beyond that. We're watching Simon Trundle at the minute, who's caught Brian Stalker. And Vincent Skilbeck, who's pitted, is behind these guys. I don't know whether he's going to be even in shot. He's got quite a lot of empty track in front of him, has Vincent. And he's putting in, well, a significant lap there, 117.8. You can see it on your screen. Oh, lots of wheel spin there for Simon, coming out of Moss Corner onto the straightaway. Wind glide up at all.
Right, I'm going to have to do a reset, guys. I'll be back very shortly.
Yeah, I shall bore the nation.
Track temperature has been up by almost 10 degrees.
Wow. That's some track evolution, isn't it?
I
That's
think
crazy.
if I look at it correctly, we started at 26 or something, and we are now at 34.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And looking at that time, they're going crazy fast.
Vincent did a 117.7 a minute ago, which is rapid. The pole time was a 115 point something, wasn't it? A 116, sorry.
16.0, 16.1, yes.
Yeah, so that is going some.
Well, Tyler's going for it. At least he shows the nose.
He does. He's not going to actually do anything. He's just reminding him that I've caught you up, son. I'm still here. You didn't manage to break me, if that's what you were trying.
Maybe he tries to slow Chris down to give Adam a chance to be second.
Well, I think Adam's going to need some help, isn't he? Because he's ended up behind.
I say that with Chris need to put more fuel in mind.
Yeah.
It might not be what happened, but you know, if Tiger tries slowing down, putting him in the wheel of Adam, that might be a thing. If he has to put less fuel down.
Yeah.
Which we don't know yet. We don't know how much Chris has saved on this stint.
Well, we're on lap 60 at the minute. We think there's going to be about 4 laps until we see some more pit stops from these 3 stoppers, which will get them to the end. I don't think anybody's going to wring it dry on this stint, because the benefit is spending as little time in the pits as possible, unless I've misunderstood the entire game.
I think the shorter stint, you do have to be the second one.
Yeah.
Because the undercut benefit is just immense. Look at how Chris gained. It was
Yeah,
the
it was
2
huge.
seconds of the stop, and then he was like 4 seconds or something ahead, which yeah, it's just 2 seconds on fresh tires, free.
Yeah. And
Adam is in.
oh, well, that is a bit of a break with tradition there. I mean, he can make it, obviously.
Bob
and
Woodhouse is in as well.
Right.
Adam hasn't been able to save fuel, has he?
Not normally,
Because
no.
He's been trying to chase Tyler down.
Yeah, he didn't have the... When I say not normally, he didn't have his teammate to tow him round for some of it, like he did in the first stint. So, yeah. Absolutely.
We see him switch, didn't we? Pretty much halfway through that first stint, so that they could both save equal amounts.
Yeah, busiest place on track right now is in pit road.
Yeah, and Bill's not even here. I'm almost back in.
Right. Who's that leaving? That must be Bob Bob Woodhouse leaving pit road. And that's Tyler into pit road.
Chris
Jackson's
made the
gone
wrong
again.
call.
Chris has kept going. I would like to see the approach to pit road again. Did Tyler leave it to the last second so that Chris wouldn't know he was going into pit road? And then who's that in the background? Oh, that'll be Bob Woodhouse leaving there. So let's see Tyler's line into here. He gets very close to Chris. Let's see if he stays left and then spears off. Oh no, he made it very obvious. So no duping tactic there, or trying to con his fellow racer into going again when he didn't need to. Now Johnny Brandon's coughing at you, Clyde, on the chat. I think he's insinuating that he was right.
I'm not sure, because if you look at the pit stop time, that was a 31.5 for Tyler, a 30.3 for Adam. What?
30.3?
That's 1 second less fueling than Tyler,
Wow.
and he's right on him. He's just behind.
Yes.
Chris is in now,
cool.
so that's
Somebody
really cool.
Yeah, somebody needs to explain this. Because I ain't got a clue. So Chris is in. Let's see what happens here. Who's that that's joined him? I can't see over the wall.
Suddenly everything will become clear as mud.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know any better. Nikolai Bogotyrev leads the race. I don't know that that's not his first leading lap. I think I've known him lead a lap before. But that's brilliant to see him right at the top.
Brandon's leaving, he failed.
Yeah, he's not staying so
Chris
that you can
still in.
you can tell him he was wrong.
32.8.
Chris is leaving now.
How close
So
is
Tyler's
this?
done him.
And Adam is likely to, because maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, it's going to be close. This.
Yes.
Oh yes, just about. That's close. Now, there's not much in the tyres, really, is there? Let's face it. So this is now an utter race to the finish.
Really should have put my webcam on, just so that Johnny could see my smug face. And Adam could do Tyler a world of good here.
Yeah, you can buy him a lot of time.
Yeah.
And that is a correct statement from Johnny. We will now see who's got the pace. And we know that Adam's quick. This is where I'm going to be very confused for a very long time. If he was duking it out with Tony and the officials, then he's got the speed. Door to door and side by side. Oh, it was nearly in a different circuit then.
That was nearly a three-stopper.
He was sideways for about 20 minutes.
Now Adam needs to get back on Chris.
Yeah, massively.
That looked so good from the front shot that we had.
It did, yeah. Look at how close they are. That's a miracle that he didn't end up on the grass.
Yeah, I think is this the angle?
It's a little different to the original angle.
This one, no.
Do you see the back end of it just twitch out?
Yeah.
And look how close he is to the grass. That's unbelievable. Good skills there from Adam. Right, let's see where they're back on the racing. He needs to put his foot down, doesn't he?
Yeah, we need these gaps, don't we? We need to see, can Tyler stay out of tow range for a start?
Yeah, I've lost track of how much tow you get from these cars. It used to be about 1.2 seconds or something. but I know from TCR that it's about 2 seconds back in those cars, but they're a bit like having a house brick driving down the road, aren't they? They're like ringing this one out. Look at it. You know, we're on lap 65. There he is. Is that him? No, that's still Chris. Nikolai must be ready to pit soon, surely. I mean, he's gone round again.
Nikolai and Tony are both going to have to pit, aren't they?
I mean, Nikolai's tyres are destroyed now. His last lap was a 1:19. Someone needs to tell Nikolai it's okay, you can pit now, it's fine. I'm surprised Tony's still out as well. I think everybody would have got their final stops done by now. Ivan, who's just peeled off to the pits instead of putting a move on to Sean. Here we are with our interim race leader. He owes us a pit stop. Is that Tony behind him as well? Yeah. So, yeah, he's in the pits now. You'd think that Tony has to as well. Oh no, Tony's got his KERS recovery system fully engaged.
Yeah, just over half an hour to go. Tyler and Chris Jackson safely past, I think that was Ivan.
Looks like he's rejoining in 8th. He's not got that much room behind him before Kenzie will be on him. I am surprised that Kenzie's so far down the field. Maybe he didn't get a chance to practice this one. Ivan stays wide and out of the way of the leaders.
So I think Chris is definitely quicker than Tyler at this stage. However, is Tyler just running to a lap time?
You guys will be able to see that a lot better than me, the history of his laps.
Yeah, I can't see that either now.
Ah, right.
Mine's crashed.
Oh, of course, yeah, you've had to reset. Yeah. I wonder if Stacey realises that Tyler can't hear her.
I don't know. She could be on the phone to him.
Yeah, true. Well, she doesn't need to type it then in capital letters that he's got no time to waste messing about.
It's because she's not used to having internet. That's what it is.
Of course, yeah.
Making the most of it.
Yeah.
Using capitals and all sorts.
Yeah. Usually
Smiley faces and all, everything.
Yeah, she's usually got Martin pedalling on a dynamo to keep the internet going.
In fact, they call her Dial-Up Jeffries.
So, Tony Kloosterman is now in pit road.
Adam's closing this up as well. So yeah, this will give us our true running order at last.
I'm intrigued as to how far back Tony... Oh, Tony's coming out in
Sixth, I think.
6th. Yeah, and he's got quite a long way to get to 5th.
Yeah, but when did Vincent last pit? Because we're not convinced Vincent can get to the end, are we?
No, he pitted oddly early. He pitted at like 58 or something like that. Which means it's going to be a massive stretch.
Yeah, he'll just about get there, I think. But Tony's going to have. He's going to be reeling him in at a second at a lap for a little while, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's got 10 laps newer tyres, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Tony Klusterman tactic is, isn't it? Give yourself brilliant tyres at the end, but you've got to overtake people, so it's not a guarantee.
Although, sticking up for Tony, I think possibly, Tony admits that he can chew through the tyres at some tracks. The 3-stopper was probably his best option.
Yeah.
It may see him finishing 6th. He might get to 5th, but with seriously worn tyres doing a 2-stopper, that could have been an accident, and it could have been 13th or 14th.
Brandon can't look away. Said he was only here to watch for 10 minutes. This is going to be a very tight finish, isn't it? Because you're right. Looking at the times, my eyes are dried up staring at these ones. Chris is slowly catching Tyler, and Adam is slowly catching Chris. So I think these are all going to be on the same bit of tarmac in 20 laps or whatever it is where we finish.
Yeah. And there's no way I can see Chris getting to Tyler, doing a quick move on him and disappearing into the distance. If he sits behind him to try and save some tyres, that's just going to invite Adam. If he fights Tyler, that's going to invite Adam. I think that the BSTV boys have done a number on him this week.
Yeah, entirely possible. Tony Klusterman's just done the fastest lap of the race at 1:17.019, and he's chewing into the gap between him and Vincent massively.
I can definitely see Tony getting to 5th.
Yeah.
Can't see him getting to Stephen Phillips. So.
No, that's like 10 seconds worth of track. I don't think we've got enough laps for that. And Canadian Crispy Bacon says he's closed up 2 seconds since his stop. He has, yeah. But that's going to disappear soon. We know that Tony's...
Ooh. That's Nikolai. It's alright.
Alright. Moss Corner gets its next scalp. It's only a minor one. He didn't hit anything. It's fine.
I thought Tony had done a fastest lap of the race followed by a slowest lap of the race.
Lap times in the top 3 almost identical. Top 4 actually, because Stephen Phillips is doing a 1:18 flat. Vincent
He's
quite
having a good race, isn't he, Stephen?
Yes. Very good race. Tony closed in a second and a half there on Vincent. That's massive, isn't it? Oh, Ivan. Gone extracurricular again. Turn 3 there.
So Martin has had too much beer and has passed out. Stacey is, I'm paid for the bloody internet, so I'm using the bloody internet.
And it's 1,000 times faster than the one that she's got at home.
Johnny Brandon is busy baking a humble pie.
It's a big one as well. It's going to feed many. The whole field's going to dine on that later. So, Tyler appears to have extended the gap ever so slightly. It's probably just, you know, little bits here, little bits there. He'll probably give it back up again in a minute, but I don't think he's in any way saving anything. I think he's putting it down. Ooh. Nero.
Nero just quit. Now, if Tyler had any sort of sense of humour, he would back Chris into Adam.
That's what a real teammate does, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just for the cameras.
Yeah.
Tony's going to be on Vincent in the next lap and a half, I think.
It's only 1.4 seconds. He's been taking more than that out every lap. The next gap to bridge, though, is to Stephen, and that's the best part of 7 seconds. That's a lot in, what have we got there, 15 laps? 16
yeah,
laps?
But it wasn't that long ago. It was 10 seconds.
Yeah. Is visibly closing now.
Yeah, they're all doing very, very similar lap times, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm utterly lying. He was 1/10 slower. Tony catching Vincent.
Yeah, Nikolai's catching Bob Woodhouse as well.
Jamie Wilson doing his own fastest lap of the race. 1:17.6 just there.
So Kenzie's having one to forget, isn't he?
Yeah, it does smack of someone who's just not had the chance to practice.
Yeah.
Either that or he's just a Bathurst machine. There's a few of them knocking about in V8s that just do laps of Bathurst over and over.
You would, you would always put Kenzie at least in the top 5, wouldn't you? Any track. So. So it could just have been a lack of practice or an injury. Chris is starting to hang it out now.
Chris, I think, is driving with a broken finger.
No, I'm not having any of that.
No, you just think he stuck his finger up his bum?
Yeah, he's going to go on about one of these wussy hockey injuries, not having it.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Chris has turned up the wick in the last lap.
Yeah, you can just tell from the attitude of the car.
Looks like Stacey's actually got dial-up because she says the internet is epic, and epic for her is anything from dial-up upwards.
Anything not run by a hamster.
Yeah. Canadian Crispy Bacon has resigned the race to finishing like this, and I really don't think it will. I think there's going to be a coming together at the end here.
Well, yeah, I suppose it depends on how you read it, doesn't it? I think he's right in saying that the podium, these three are going to make up the podium, unless there's a mistake or two.
Yeah, and that's almost what I'm saying, really.
The order of how the podium is going to be, I don't think is quite decided yet.
Yeah. So Chris is now within 6/10-ish. Closest he's been for 10 laps, and we've got about 14 or 15 to go. There's Simon Trendle closing in on Kenzie.
He's right on the back of Kenzie, isn't he? And Chris is now pretty much on the back of Tyler.
Always works like this in these endurance races, doesn't it? There's a little spell where everybody's strewn out around the track, and then at the end you get a whole bunch of battles because Nikolai's onto Bob Woodhouse as well.
Yeah, I'll take credit for the Nikolai one. I did call that a few laps ago.
You take credit for anything.
I'm taking credit for piecing around at the moment.
Johnny's asking, has anybody got to save to make it? I think the only one that needs to do that, or is likely to, is Vincent.
It's Vincent, yeah.
Yeah. He's in 6th at the minute. He's in a bit of a bubble at the moment, so he's got Tony Klusterman driving away from him and Bob Woodhouse 10 seconds behind him, so I think he'll be okay. I think there's fuel saving to be done there, but he's safe.
To be honest, I think Vincent will naturally save because his tyres are going to be that bad.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to go quick.
Nikolai and Bob Woodhouse, we're back at the front because Chris has got himself within half a second and Adam is getting dropped now.
Yeah, but if we see it all the time, don't we? If Chris and Tyler start going door to door, Adam's going to be right with them. Obviously, that's what Adam is praying for.
Yes.
He wants Chris now to have a go at Tyler to get him back in with a chance of the win.
Ooh, and Vincent's in again, so he couldn't stretch it out that much. I mean, he's going to have immense tyres, but he's going to be so far down the field.
Yeah, what can he claw back?
Yeah, it's a splash and dash without a doubt. He's going to be out fairly soon, I would expect.
He's going to have 15 minutes a 15-minute sprint race to get as many positions back as he can.
He's leaving the pits now in 11th.
I don't think Chris needs to try anything too funky at the moment because he's still got that little bit of a safety net back to Adam.
Yeah. I've got two other NQR cars going at it here. He's so far to the left there to try and break the toe that he's opening up the door for Nikolai to pass, unless that's his intention, of course.
Yeah,
I think he's let him go there. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it was a done deal as soon as he closed in on him.
Nikolai's next target is 9 seconds down the road, and it's Tony. So I don't think that's going to happen unless there's mistakes made. To Simon Trendle on Kenzie again. Having a look. Turn 1's not normally a place to stuff it down the inside. It's too dangerous for both of you.
Looks like Chris is starting to lose time in the first 2 sectors. He's gaining back on the straight because he's got the toe, but I feel like he's dropping from Tyler's more and more each time till most corner. And Adam's closing back in.
Yeah, he is slightly. Maybe he had a moment on a previous lap. Maybe he was holding on to his stuff, hoping that what Clyde said would come to be, which was a scrap at the front. He's just on a 117.8, which is half a second faster than Tyler at the very front. So yeah, got himself a really good lap there and put himself back into some form of contention.
Well, he's almost in total range with 1.4 behind Chris. Oh, Tyler is very slow into Moss.
Yeah, shallow lines too.
That's always a big gain there for Chris. I don't think Tyler's particularly slow there. I think Chris is just a master on the brakes.
Well, this is definitely the closest that Chris has been nearly all race, to be honest. But he loses time through the S's there.
Yeah. Or are they the S-aways?
Yeah. Does he look hot into there, doesn't he? He is, yeah.
So, let me have a look at the standings. So yeah, Tyler not really in the championship running at the moment, not unless he was to string a few wins together. I wouldn't expect Chris to do anything too Larry and risk losing a crap load of points.
Yeah. I think he'll still want to win it. I really do.
I still think Chris is, I know a win's a win, but a championship is a championship. And winning it 2 years on the trot is no easy feat.
No, we've rarely seen
had
that.
a couple of drivers do that. One still in the race in 5th place, and one baking humble pie. Did Johnny go back to back?
He rocked up with a gold car once, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Which
think
was-
there's been a foggy between the two.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
was it Johnny Foggy Johnny? Now I'm gonna have to try and answer my own question.
Been working on the stats for long enough. You should be able to.
Yeah, I'm already up to season 8.
Oh right, okay.
What did I do?
No longer eating into this. Don't think. He needs them to scrap. I think that's the only way he's now gonna end up getting on the back bumper of either of the two cars in front. Tyler seems to stretch it out every so often, and then it gets clawed back again.
No, Johnny Brandon did. So, season 4 and season 5 was won by Johnny Brandon. Then a Foggy, then a Brandon, then a Foggy, then a Brandon. So Johnny Brandon and Tony Kloosterman have both been back-to-back champions. Chris Jackson could be the next one.
There's Vincent on vastly newer tyres, provided he actually took any at that splash and dash. Closing in on Brian Stalker here for 10th place, so Brian's going to want to keep hold of this. I think we've got 6 laps to go, Clyde. And a number of battles brewing.
Yeah, you got what, 7 minutes?
Yeah, exactly that actually. And again, Chris reels him in at the end of the straightaway. Oh, hang on, that's Kenzie going a bit extracurricular as well now. Must have the combine harvester adaptation attached to it.
You're still playing Farming Simulator, aren't you?
I am.
Have you got the new one?
Yeah,
Is it any good?
yeah. Oddly
Well, like-
addicted.
16 or whatever it was. I got a bit addicted to that, but
Yeah.
I don't know whether to buy the new one or not.
It's pretty good now. There's a lot more to it than it was in the past.
Yeah. Can you play it online now?
Yeah, you can. You can either rent or play online with you hosting the server.
Right. Farming Simulator broadcasts coming up.
Already done that.
The racing.
I think there is mod with buggy, and we could make a race track on dirt and have fun.
Right, come on then, guys. Who's going to win?
I think there is going to be a last minute scrap, and I think that Tyler will still retain it.
Or they will crash, and the final result will be Adam, Stephen, Tony.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? I think Tyler is still waiting on his first win in the V8s, though, so I'm sure he's desperate to get it.
He'll be in tears if it's a last lap, last turn, and he ends up second. And this is Chris now very much closer than he's been for a long way. It's always here though, isn't it? He closes in right here. I don't know whether he's sizing him up or something like that.
It's not enough of a run out of that last turn though, is there, to do anything? It's going to have to be done, well, probably coming out of Moss.
Yeah, that's the traditional place on this track, and I've not seen anybody else do a last turn like Tony Kloosterman overtake. We're 3.5 minutes still to go before the 2 hours is up. Tyler a little wild coming around that turn into Moss corner. Obviously Tyler will stay fully bolted to the right hand side of the track here and make Chris go the long way round.
Oh!
Whoa!
Game on!
Yeah. So the scrap starts now. Let's keep an eye on Adam's time behind, because he had been spat out the back pretty much. Great Canadian crispy bacon. Like now. Yeah, like now.
Yeah, that might have hurt the rear tires, because there's quite a few laps in, like 28, 29 laps.
Yeah, gonna be a bit tasty.
Yeah, that must be 38 degree the track temperature. So it's starting to be very hot. Yeah. It's like
Canadian crispy bacon says, "My God, I don't think he's the only one that's praying at the minute." I think Tyler's found some religion somewhere.
I think two more laps.
Yeah, two more.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, 2 more. That's going to be a 92 lap race.
Tyler will come around here and be like, "Why is there nobody waving a flag? Damn it."
They're both pushing now.
Yeah. They're both pushing and fighting and still pulling away from Adam, which says a lot, doesn't it? Be silent. Nobody dare breathe.
Yeah, I think Tyler needs to park it into Moss to make Chris slow down and don't have a run to the straight, but that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Well, I think he did a little bit of it just then.
Yeah, I think he did, but not enough.
Chris had a double stab at the brakes, didn't he?
Replay of what happened last time.
Wrong car to look at the rear. Don't mind me.
He's going to get one more go at that.
And that's all he's going to get.
This is the last lap.
Now, Tyler got pretty wriggly coming out of the first turn. That must mean his rear tyres are properly going now. No breathing space really at the minute. Got a few car lengths there, but it's through this next section that Chris seems to haul him in.
and like I say, breaking into Moss, that's where whatever gap there is, Chris just draws it all back again.
Yeah, they've got very different lines into Moss Corner, haven't they?
They've both done very well there.
Yeah.
We're going to see Chris try the outside move again.
It's the only thing that's going to be left to him, because Tyler's going to bolt himself to the right-hand side. Ooh. I don't breathe.
Now you can breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, what a race.
That was an epic battle.
Yeah, the only downside to this is we might not hear the end of this from Tyler for a very long time.
There's another downside.
What?
You're doing his interview.
Oh, man.
Shall we suddenly announce no interviews tonight?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I thought on you right. Oh no, the last lap, but you already finished the race, so that's okay. He's safe.
I think that was just somebody after the finish line that I saw. That's all Johnny has to say. Well. Stacey gets to the end and can't watch. I don't think she understands the principle behind this.
Well, that was an absolutely fantastic race, wasn't it?
That was immense.
So many different tactics. And, ultimately, this is the bit that I always find fascinating. We see Tyler and Chris, although they did the same amount of stops, they were on different strategies within those stops, but ultimately they finish one behind the other at the end of the race. I just love the tactical side of those sort of races. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to run through the finish in order if Sam puts it back up?
If you wouldn't mind.
Cool. As Tyler does donuts. So
he's not very good at it, I'm just saying.
Apparently not, no. He's not done it before, though, has he? So Tyler Newitt wins at Mosport for BSTV Esports Green, and beats Chris Jackson over the line by almost nothing at all, just 3.5 tenths for NQR North America. Adam Wright finishes third for BSTV Esports Green. Stephen Phillips finishes fourth for Dashhound Racing, with Tony Klusterman in fifth for NQR North America. Bob Woodhouse finishes in sixth for NQR Europe, followed by his teammate Nikolai Bogotyrev. Eighth is Simon Trendle for Team Chimera, with Racing Forces Kenzie Newhoff in ninth. 10th was Vincent Skilbeck for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic, with Ryan Walker in 11th for BSTV Esports Green. Jamie Wilson finished 12th for Team Chimera, with Sean Leyland finishing 13th for Never Lucky Racing. I feel like that some days. Ivan Bauman's finished in 14th for Track Velocity Racing. Miro Hrasky in 15th for PCS. Andrew Hoffman, Miro didn't finish. We saw him pull over earlier. Andrew Hoffman didn't finish either, in 16th for Pecky's Performance Racing. And 17th was Ant Woodward for NQR Europe, also did not finish.
Yeah, I don't know if Ant had a bit of a rage quit. We see him come together, didn't we, with one of our Australian drivers, and then suddenly disappeared. So, maybe Ant was a bit annoyed at himself. So we're still waiting for Tyler Newitt to enter the room. So I'll tell you what. Let's start without him. Let's bring in our second place driver, Chris Jackson. Welcome to the booth.
Hey, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Not too bad. Few technical issues as usual. So that was a hell of a race from start to finish. There was so many different tactics going on within that race, within groups of drivers doing the same amount of stops, and then there was other drivers doing 3 stops, and it was really, really hard to call. Although I did get it right. Johnny Brandon got it wrong. Just wanted to add that to the broadcast. But yeah, from your seat, even though ultimately you didn't get the win, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed that.
That was probably the most fun I've had on here in a long time. That was a blast. It felt like a sprint race for 2 freaking hours.
Well, they are, aren't they? Isn't that what endurance racing is?
Well, sometimes you don't have to go 99.9%. You can kind of get away with 99%, but not around here. Everyone was on it, and it was so tight. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that battle with Tyler, obviously, as you're going along, I used to, my pit stops were always pre-planned, and I didn't have the mental capacity to change them, to react to things that were happening in the race. But in your mind, was that always going to be that close at the end, or did you think your strategy would have put you out in front or maybe further behind Tyler?
I actually thought, so after the first round of pits and Tyler and Adam stayed out longer, and then once Tyler caught up to me, I knew it was his race to lose, that he was on my backside with by taking extra fuel, so on the final stop he was going to take less. So I knew I had to push a bit harder at the start of that stint, and I was lucky I was able to get by Adam. And then I just had to try and gain with the draft, but not kill the tires, to try and make, a push for the last few laps. And I thought that would be the only way to beat him, because his pace was, he and Adam were on it today. They were very impressive. And same with Stephen Phillips. He was on fire as well. So the pace across the whole field was very, very impressive. So that was kind of the strategy. I was hoping I could maybe force them into a mistake, or maybe get a really good tow and then be able to, squeeze them a bit wide and make the pass, and then hope I could hold off.
Yeah, and we see probably the last 2 or 3 laps, you tried to make a move, but it's not an easy track to overtake on, is it?
No, when you go to make that move, you're overheating the tires on the first corner, and then the second corner, you're hoping that you can have an overlap, and maybe they go a bit wide and push wide, but then you still got the third right that you're probably going to be side by side, and if you can hold the line on the side that Tyler was on, it's very difficult to make that pass when they're driving that close to limit.
Excellent. And obviously your main title rival this season has been Kenzie Newhoff, who finished way down in P nowhere. Second, happy with that. Another big haul of points, and eking out a bit more of a gap at the top of the table.
I'm thrilled with that. I was going to be happy with a top 5 here today, to be honest. So P2 is, I'm over the moon. I knew Tyler was going to be the one to beat. Saw him in the officials. His pace was unbelievable. I knew last season he had better wear than I did around here. So maybe this is the equivalent to my Phillip Island for Tyler Newitt. So congrats to him on his first win. Well deserved. Awesome race, start to finish. So.
Excellent. Well, before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give?
I definitely have to say hello to my beautiful wife. Hello, Mary. Love you. Logan, Ella. Hope you guys are watching and having fun and cheering on your favorite drivers. The team, Simability, put in some good practice again this week and worked on the set that worked pretty much for everyone. Wasn't as good as the BSTV boys, but we're very happy with the teamwork and the group. Simability, obviously the sponsors, you guys for the broadcast, not just here, but all over, all the other race leagues, the time you guys put into it. So we really, really appreciate watching this back and just love the community. So thanks a lot to everyone.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on a fantastic race and a brilliant second place, Chris Jackson.
See you, boys.
Okay, folks, go and grab yourselves a cup of tea, cup of coffee, beer, all of the above, because Pete is now about to do the longest interview in the history of longest interviews. As we welcome to the booth, first time winner in the series, Tyler Newitt.
Hello.
Remind me again where you finished.
That would be P1.
And no tears, no.
I got
So
pretty
any
close.
shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, it's pretty much all shout outs today, but no, it got pretty close to tears across the line. I mean, yeah, it's a long time coming. It feels pretty good.
Does it feel any better to know that you did Chris Jackson in his own backyard?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I was almost there last season, and I was just sitting behind him in that second stint, and I was saving, but I was just thinking back to last season in that race where I just followed him the whole race, and there was never the chance to pass. So I kind of knew I had to do something in the pits, and it worked. I mean, I'm a little shocked that it held on, but it worked.
And at the start was a bit tasty with yourself and Tony into Moss. We've just seen it on the broadcast actually as a little snippet. And then how tempting was it to push harder than you knew you should do? I mean, it's not often I'm in a situation like that, but I have been, believe it or not. And it takes a lot of discipline to hold yourself back. So was there a temptation there to just overtake him earlier or push a little harder?
I had a couple runs in the second stint that I think I could have taken to try and put him side by side at the end of the straight. But it was, I mean, we kind of knew where we stood heading into this weekend. I've done a decent amount of practice, and I knew that the NQR guys struggled on the tires. So Chris is the funniest guy to race against because he spent all week hyping me up. He's just, he'd send me messages after I did a practice or something like, man, I hear your times are great. I think you've got a real chance. It'd be great to see you get your first win. And, that gets in your head a little bit when, when you're racing somebody at the end,
No pressure.
And you just have to figure out what of what he's telling you is true. He's like, we don't have the tires. I was barely hanging on to Tony. And, Chris is such a good guy that I have no doubt that everything he tells me when he's messaging me is true. But there are people who would do that to try and get in your head. So it's funny.
Absolutely.
But it just it took a minute because when I crossed the line, Adam was like, man, even better to get your first one fighting with Chris. And I was like, I'd rather just run away with it. It would have made my life a lot less stressful for the last 2 hours. But in hindsight, it was a lot of fun. It was really, really good battle.
Johnny Brandon didn't have his money on you for most of the race, did he, Clyde?
He didn't know, but
I was listening.
I put him right for you, don't worry.
I was just kind of in awe listening to the broadcast because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I was worried that I had messed up my calculations because if not, Clyde was right, and that just wouldn't make sense. So I was rerunning the calculations to make sure that for once Clyde was in fact right about the strategy.
I told Clyde it was the right strategy. That's why it was correct.
Yeah, several planets had to align for that to happen.
Yeah.
It eventually did, yeah. Clyde was right for once, the first time ever. Other first time evers, you won one of the V8ESC races. So congratulations for that. Adam did. He did an okay job, didn't he? Really, third. It's not as good as first, is it? Really?
Yeah, if we're getting to the shout outs, I mean, Adam has just been phenomenal this season, and it's so much easier to push yourself and to find pace when you've got a teammate who is on it. And Adam, it's taken everything I've had just to match Adam this season, and for most of this week, I had a little bit in hand on him, and then he goes and does me in qualifying, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? But I think I had the race pace on him, so it was good. But he's been tremendous, and would have been really nice to get a 1-2. We were kind of working that in the first stint, but we had some traffic while we were running long, and that kind of slowed us down a bit and broke us up, which was a shame. But it was he was on it again.
Yeah, you're gonna have to thank Stacey at some point, because she's literally been your biggest fan. She was 20 minutes behind at one point, but
well, it's nice to have her rooting for me and not Wobbly. That's
yeah.
I think
that's
she's
good.
actually up to the second pit stop now.
But yeah, you're gonna have to call that one. Any other shout outs before we expect you to win at every race in the future?
Don't. But thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast and for BSTV Esports. I mean, it's just so great to race with you guys, and it's a lot of fun. And shout out to Simability for sponsoring. And it sounds corny, but shout out to everybody. I mean, I kind of thought that my shot at a win was over once we got all these new signups this season and people were finding pace, and the league has stepped it up so much, which makes the win feel even more special. So shout out to everybody in the league. It's awesome.
Yeah, and for those happens to be just joining, don't adjust your sets, folks. Tyler did actually win this one. We will see him trying to win again next time out.
Won't be here next time. Have to miss next time, unfortunately. But I'll be back in 4 weeks' time.
What I heard there, Clyde, was now that he's won, he's retiring.
Well, it's got to be that or sex cult duties.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It's the big responsibility.
Yeah.
Tyler knew it.
See you guys.
Okay, so next up, let's bring our third place finisher, Adam Wright. Welcome to the booth.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Not too bad. So, that should have been a lights out to flag victory for you, shouldn't it?
I don't think so. I wasn't even expecting pole, to be fair. So, yeah, certainly not going to be a lights out to flag victory. I struggled leading the race, so yeah, I'm going to struggle with that one.
Well, halfway through the first stint, obviously, yourself and Tyler did a switcheroo. Was that all to do with fuel saving?
No, just I was struggling. I was missing apexes. I do struggle when I'm out in front with no one to copy and follow. So I said, if you've got the pace, why don't you go by, and then hopefully you pull me along as well. Because we were thinking we'd have better tyre life than the guys behind us, and we could gap them a little bit, and we did a little bit. So that was the reasoning behind that, really.
Okay, and just nothing to do with Adam, but I just thought I'd let all the viewers know Tyler is now sat in the interview waiting room, lapping up all the plaudits and telling everybody, how wonderful he is and all the rest of it, and he'll probably still be there in the morning. So after that first stop, like I say, it looked early on. It looked like do you know what? There's a BSTV 1-2 on here. These guys have found something with the setup. They got the start they wanted. I say we actually thought you did the switcheroo so you could both save the same amount of fuel. And then you got a bit detached because of the traffic after the pit stop. That must have been a bit annoying.
Yeah, that really hurt my race, to be fair, because when I was tucked up behind Tyler, I was feeling real good with the car. Set a nice time, hitting the apexes that I was missing at the beginning. But yeah, after the pit stop, we just got split up a little bit, and then I just never really latched on again. So I felt like I was fighting to get up in the draft again. Yeah, ever since the first pit stop.
And then the obviously the close after the second pit stop, everybody else had been in. You're in third place. There's a bit of a gap to Chris. At that point, was you all in giving it everything you've got to try and catch up, or was you purposely holding back, trying to save a bit of tyre life for the end of the race and do something then?
Do you know what? All week I'd have put my money on Tyler winning today, so I thought he had the pace. And as soon as I didn't expect to be able to jump Chris, but I did, and when he ended up behind me, I just like, Tyler, you go, and I'll just slow him up as much as I can. But to be honest, Chris got straight by me, so
that didn't quite work, did it?
No, but hey, I'm good at nothing, so.
Well, you know, again, another fantastic result for you. You know, you've Tyler said it when Pete did his 3-hour-long interview with him. You know, you have been on it this season. You've sort of, I wouldn't say you've come from nowhere, because you've always had the pace in this car, but I think in previous seasons you've struggled to have the pace consistently, whereas this season you're pretty much up there all the time. So you know, you're still in this championship, and we're now exactly halfway through. So you know, what can you do in the second half of the season to see if you can pick the Kenzies and the Chris to maybe a title?
A title's a long shot, but I think last season I was considered myself like a top 10 driver. I think I've maybe moved up to top 5. But yeah, I don't know. I've had more time to practice. There's been others around me who haven't had time to practice, so I think I've gained a little bit like that. But I'll just keep doing what I do. And the Friday nights are brilliant, doing the officials, and then obviously every other weekend it's good practice for the race like today. So yeah, I don't know. I'll just keep doing. I'm just enjoying the racing, so I'm not thinking about the championship. I know that's a bit of a cliche and all that shite, but I'm just enjoying the racing. Racing up front with these guys is great.
Excellent. Okay, well, before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, huge shout out to Tyler. Long overdue, but yeah, I thought he was on for this win all week. So yeah, shout out to him. You guys, of course, and Simability, and and all the guys on the Friday officials, because that's a great crack too. And Sam's our newest Friday night member, and he's flat out.
Did you say fat out?
That's not wrong though.
Well, congratulations on your podium finish, Adam, and we'll see you next time out.
Great, cheers guys.
Okay, so we're rattling through them now. Next up, let's bring in Pete's favourite New Yorker, Mr. Stephen Phillips.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Evening, Stephen, or whatever time you've got over there. So you were right in the thick of it all the way through that race. You must be knackered.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. Yeah, but really excited.
I don't remember the cameras actually turning on to you when you weren't scrapping with somebody.
Or sideways.
Or sideways. Yeah. There was some interesting lines through some of the corners. But you stuck at the back of that lead group for ages, and managed to pit at on the same lap as those that ended up finishing at the pointy end like you did. So was that your strategy, to follow them, or follow the last of the pitters, or what did you go into the race with?
So I got balked in qualifying on my last attempt at a hot lap, and it was real hot under the headset, and I knew that, when the lights went out, I had to do some pushing and shoving to get where I felt like I should have been in qualifying. So I got the work that I needed to get done on lap 1, and just kind of attached myself to the back of Vincent and hung on to the draft. And the plan really was to stretch the fuel as long as possible, and then I was close enough once the pit stops started happening to the top 3 and I was just keeping an eye on them, and I saw Chris dive in, and I knew that was probably the strategy to be on. So I just kind of, followed Chris in every time that he stopped. So I think if I can, if I cleaned up qualifying and avoided some mistakes on Moss, then it would have been right up there. Because I know from the officials that I had pace on Adam. So
yeah. The
really
very
happy.
the very best of all of us racers won't get Moss right every lap, because for me at least, someone seems to change the topography on the entry to the corner every time I approach it. So
it's a challenge.
I think there's something going on there, to be honest. Still, fourth is a great result. You're definitely keeping yourself up there, aren't you? You're currently hang on, where are you actually? Simability Cup. You're currently in 7th, as long as my screen hasn't gone funny. And yeah, you've got the oh no, that's the what's it standings. Let me that was where you finished last time. I'm busy misleading the entire world right now. You're still right up there in the top 10 for the league. And this will have done you no harm at all, finishing 4th. That's a good point, Saul, isn't it? You are actually 7th overall, as well as finishing 7th in the last race before this one, so there you go.
Okay, yeah, I think that probably should have moved me up the standings a little bit. We'll see tomorrow when the points come in. Yeah, that's my best enduro result. It's my best result since I got I got a podium through a throughput at Monza years ago. So I'm real excited.
No, that's good. And all the practice and the officials and everything else that you're doing, which I watch from time to time, is proving to be practice enough for you to get right up at the pointy end of this. Hopefully another podium for you soon.
Yeah, we'll see. I think I just need a couple of things to swing my way, and be a little patient, keep doing what I'm doing, and it'll come.
Yeah. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
I mean, all the guys in the top 10, really. The first stint was just amazing. Everybody kept it clean. Shout out to Woody, Anthony. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you to you guys for putting the league on, allowing us to do this, and I hope you have a good rest of your weekend.
Awesome stuff. In that case, we will see you next time out at Lime Rock Park.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, so next up, let's get our 5th place finisher, Tony Kloosterman. Welcome to the booth.
Clyde, how are you?
Not too bad. Well, a little bit delicate, to be honest, but we won't talk about that. So, 3-stop strategy for you. Was that decided before the race? Did you change your strategy on the hoof? Or, was it, do you know what, I'm that bad on these tyres, I've got to do 3 stops?
Well, that was during the week. I made that decision. I did some 31 lap stints in practice, and the wear was pretty high, so I just decided I was going to 3-stop it. And you know what? At the end of the day, it wasn't a bad strategy. I got to lead some laps, so I got some points for that. I set fastest lap of the race, some points for that. So, I don't think I finished any worse than I would have finished otherwise. Maybe 1 position.
Yeah, that was literally going to be my next question was, on that 3-stop strategy, was you hoping to be higher up? Did you think you'd be further down, or did you finish where you thought you was going to finish?
Yeah, I think the best I could have hoped for was 3rd or 4th. And I actually short-filled on the last stop and had to save a little bit just to make it to the end. So I was trying to put a little pressure on Steve and see if he would crack, but he didn't.
No, he certainly didn't. Obviously, we just had the interview with him, and a fantastic race. But we were saying in the broadcast that even the guys that were on 2-stop strategies, which looked like the right strategy, they all had slight variations on the theme, so everybody was doing something slightly different, but ultimately at the end of the race you've still got two guys, nearly three, within a few car lengths, and battling for the win. So it sometimes makes you wonder, do people overthink these strategies, or should they just go with the flow and know that that's their pace, and that's where they're going to end up on the track?
Yeah, I think you can overthink it. I don't think I did. I knew where I was going to finish. Tyler and Adam have just had great speed the last few weeks. So and they stayed close enough together that they were able to work the draft nicely, and I think they had a good strategy as well.
Yeah, and Lime Rock Park next time. Funny little track, but you do tend to go well on the more tight and twisty tracks, don't you?
Yeah, I like Lime Rock. It is going to be like it's a short track, right? And a lot of laps. It will be hectic, I think. Qualifying will be very, very important.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to that. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, the team, Simability, Wild Rides, and you guys for doing the broadcast. And I'd like to say congratulations to everybody in the league. I think that the qualifying times were indicative of the level of ability that's in this league these days, and I think everybody did really well. So congratulations to everyone.
Excellent. I'm sure everybody will appreciate that, and congratulations on your 5th place, Tony Kloosterman.
Thanks, Clyde. Take care, guys.
Okay, next up for you, Bob. Close on the heels of Tony Kloosterman, we have 6th place, Bob Woodhouse. Welcome to the booth.
I think Clyde just called me Bob, but we'll skip over that one. Bob, how are you doing?
Yeah, good.
So, good result for you. And a good result for NQR, really. Obviously, the BSTV Green Boys pipped them out at the top and 3rd spots, but then there's a big string of you guys that were chasing the podium back. So, tell us about your race.
Yeah, well, got off to a reasonable start, and then at the end of lap 1, you probably saw it, Stephen helped me into the final set of corners. And all just about gathered it up, but by the time that had happened, I'd dropped off the pack a bit. Then trying to push to catch back up, got it wrong at Moss, nearly went off. Kenzie done a cracking job not to drive into me, and that was it. I was done. I was like 3-4 seconds off the pack, and then that whole of that stint was just trying not to drop back any further.
Yeah, we saw you go extracurricular at Moss, and you avoided the wall by not very much.
Oh yes, yeah.
That was impressive. Yes. Clyde was surprised that there was that much grip out there, but I told him that you had the combine harvester adaptation fitted. And then you started to pull away from the group that you were leading. You gapped them by a fair margin by the time you got to your pit stop. So you obviously had pace around here. Where did you expect to be finishing?
At the start of the week, I wasn't feeling good about this. I was thinking about doing a 3-stop because I just felt my pace was really bad. But just over the early in the week, done a bit of practice with the guys, and seemed to find a little bit round here, and seemed to go okay in the official last night. So I then switched it, and I was just going to go on the normal 2-stop. But I think even with not making the mistakes that I made, I think 6th place was really the best I could ask for. It's some great teamwork with Nikolai at the end. Kenzie and Simon, I could feel them catching us, and I just didn't have the outright pace. But then when I let Nikolai by, he was able to tow us along, and was able to get a bit of a safety net on those guys behind. And true gent, Nikolai let me back through to take the flag.
Yeah. We saw the exchange of position, actually, and it's good to see that, isn't it, in any racing, especially within your own team as well. Lime Rock Park next time out. Bit of a
Yes.
flying fighter jets around a teacup, but we'll see how you get on there. You must know that, like the back of your hand. Everybody does.
I've raced it once, I think, in the
Once?
Mazda, yeah, and then never went back. Yeah, so we'll see how that one goes. But to be fair, I've only ever raced, like, what was it, last season at Moss, and then Friday night in the official, so, yeah, it didn't do too badly today.
No, I think you did really well. Anybody you'd like to shout out to before we let you go and practice for Lime Rock?
Yeah, just basically all the NQR boys. Yeah, doing a great job with the practice sessions and all the little tips and pointers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you guys for the broadcast, I'm going to enjoy watching this one back again.
Yeah, it's been hectic. Congratulations on your 6th place, and we'll expect to see you on the podium for Lime Rock.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't quite go that far. But yeah, no, thank you guys, thank you.
Okay, so Bob Woodhouse there. So we'll give him a couple of seconds to wake up. Vincent Skilbeck, welcome to the booth.
Evening.
There we go. See, I knew he'd get there eventually. So Vincent, 10th place tonight. You're not happy with that, are you?
No, I'm not. I stuffed myself over with the strategy, so it's kind of all my fault.
And in what way? That because your first stop was it was as if you thought, you know what, I'll stop early and I'll do a 3-stopper, and then other people were doing 2-stoppers, so you then tried to turn your 3-stopper into a 2-stopper, but then realised you couldn't do it, and it went back to what? How did you screw yourself in the end with the strategy?
So I knew that the undercut was really, really big at Mosport. So yeah, that's why I stopped early the first time, just after the half hour. Just to try to get the jump on the boys ahead. And then I thought the tyres would have held on enough for me to then do the long run at the end, in the middle, to stretch it out just that far enough that I could make it on just that one stop. But yeah, it turned out that, yeah, I was maybe 5 minutes short of being able to make it on just 2 stops with the way I'd worked it. So yeah, I had to come in for a splash of 12 litres and make it home.
Right, so new calculator on the list for Christmas then. Normally, you know, I know these endurance races are a bit quirky, but you know, with the number of pit stops and the length of the race. But you know, in general, how do you usually go at Mosport? Is your 10th place not only strategy inflicted, but also because it's not a track that you generally go well at, or are you normally a lot further up the field around here?
No, tonight was just all strategy. I had the car pace to keep up with the boys at the front. It's just, yeah, the way my setup I've worked this week for Scops. I've found that it's really not that turned on the first few laps, but then my car gets really, really good. So you would have seen in that first stint, the boys started to pull away from me like midway through that first stint, and then my car come back at them. So yeah, it was just the way my car was working. But yeah, tonight was just all me just miscalculating on the strategy.
Yeah, we didn't actually see your comeback because obviously by then you was in P nowhere and we was concentrating elsewhere. But if that's what you believe, mate, then you know you stick to it. I love watching you race because you're how can I say this nicely? You're not a conservative racer. You put it all out there on every lap at every track, and I think that's the way racing should be. Is there a reined-in version of Vincent, or is that what you drive in every single league and every single race?
No, that's pretty much how I run every race. I like to try and maximize my lap time every lap, but knowing what my limit is to the car, so I can push hard when I want to. But like tonight at the start of the race, I wasn't actually trying to keep up with the boys at the front at all. I was fuel saving a lot at the start. But yeah, that's just the way I've always done my sim racing, is to try and maximize every little bit of speed that I can, as hard as I can, as long as I can. So
Well, keep doing it,
sometimes it
mate.
works, sometimes it doesn't. But
It is a pleasure to watch when it goes right. Anyway, so Lime Rock Park next time out. What are you hoping for around there?
to be honest, I am not really expecting very much at all. I do like Lime Rock, but I don't think that it suits the V8. I think it's just a bit too small for the V8. It could be the same size as Winton. I'm not quite sure, but it just doesn't seem like the type of track that a V8 would kind of go to. But we'll see how the racing turns out. But
I would give everybody the advice to just practice qualifying in the next fortnight, because it's going to be all important at Lime Rock Park. Anyway, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go and bring a close to this broadcast?
Just all the boys over at Welding that keep us going. All our members that chip in and race with us every single night, which makes things fun. You guys for the broadcast, everyone in the league for the really, really good racing that's coming up this season and what's happened so far, and Simability.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure, Vincent, and we look forward to seeing you battling the car round Lime Rock Park next time out.
Cheers, boys. See ya.
Okay, so that's the interviews over, guys. You know me, I love the tactical side of racing rather than the who can do the fastest lap every lap. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. What about you, Pete?
Well, probably evidenced repeatedly through that broadcast. I've not got a clue with strategy at all. My strategies generally are stay on the track, please don't crash, and then eventually abandon that strategy into a wall somewhere. I found that to be one of the most exciting endurance strategy races I think we've ever had. It was absolute distinct strategies, and there was three that I can count at least going on, and it all came together at the end like we hoped it would, and it did. It really shone out as a real landmark race for me, and obviously it will for Tyler. That's his first win in this league after 600 years of trying. So a great night. I think Simability will have got plenty of on-screen time and lots of viewers watching it, including people in Rhodes. I mean, we've extended our reach out to Rhodes, Clyde.
Yeah, and there was me thinking your tactic was called do what Gary does.
No, much more basic than that, I'm afraid.
And Sam, I know you like the tactical side of things, and we always have a good discussion on the broadcast about what we think who's doing and that sort of thing. I'm assuming you enjoyed that.
That was a very great race. There were pace, strategy, and everything played out at the end, which was to be expected. It was great fun.
Excellent. So that was round 10. We are halfway through the season. Coming up on Wednesday, we are back in GT4 TCR action from, let's put Pete on the spot. Where are we racing?
Not going.
Summit Point. So that could be a very interesting race as well. We do love the GT4 TCR series because we do always get the fantastic racing. But I think Summit Point, it's a funny track, and it does tend to lend its hand to some really good racing. Anyway, I'd like to congratulate Tyler on his first win in the series. Probably his only one, if we're going to be truthful. He has deserved it. He has been at this for a while, as Pete alluded to, and it's always nice to see a first-time winner. Thanks to Simability for their sponsorship. I do hope that they are enjoying these races as much as we are, and proving, that there is V8 talent outside of the underside of the world. Big thanks to all the drivers for putting on the show. Thanks to everybody that joins us on the chat. As we always say, we do appreciate that, even when Johnny Brandon comes on and gets it all wrong. Big thank you as well to Sam and to Pete for joining me in the booth and putting this broadcast on. Make sure you drop this video a like, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and make sure you follow us on Facebook, and you will never miss any of this fantastic action again. I'm going to say good night, so let the guys say good night, and then we will close the broadcast. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and tune in on Wednesday.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next time.
And good day, everybody. And soon the interviews will be as long as the race. I'm calling it. What did you say, Clyde?
Tyler.
And Pete. Right, see you next one, guys.